All right, all right, all right. Good day to everyone. Good day to everyone. I want to welcome everyone to episode 12 of the Know It All podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Clinton Jiggers, aka Quick Jigs. I want to thank you very much. We actually had our largest viewership last week that we've had thus far. We had almost 300 views. So I'm very happy that the word is spreading and hopefully we're giving a lot of inspiration to folks. As you can see, I have a special guest joining me today. So I want to introduce her and then continue from there. So, first of all, the title of today's episode is How to Overcome and Win in Life. And our special guest here is Janora Lene. We actually grew up together a long time ago in Woodlawn, but she is now a beauty and brand architect and a wellness coach, where her mission is to help women rebuild their lives by refining their mental health and learning the skills necessary to dominate life.
Yeah.
So, without further delay, Janora, I'm giving you an opportunity to introduce yourself, share a bit about your background, and then we can build from there.
Okay. Well, hello everybody. My name is Janora Lene, and I think you just summed it all up for me. I feel like I don't have any. But yes, I am a beautypreneur. I'm also a wellness coach. My passion is just helping women to overcome, rebuild their lives because I have done that personally in my own life. So, it's definitely my calling.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, we're going to dig into that and learn a bit more about your brand and your success as an entrepreneur. And of course, your journey in overcoming adversity. And that's where I would like to start is really talking about adversity. As my listeners know, the goal behind this show is really to just help people overcome challenges, find inspiration in the daily occurrences that we have in life. Everybody's going through something, but most people think they're alone, but we are not.
Right.
So to start there, with as far as overcoming I said diversity, adversity, Janora, if you could share with us a bit about what are some of the strategies that you use to persevere through challenges. You can characterize it big picture, or you can give us an anecdotal story as far as what you've done in the past in a specific situation.
Yeah, I think anytime that we go through adversity, one of the first things that we have to do is kind of like analyze, the situation, how we may have ended up in that situation, no matter, what it is, we all play a part, in, certain things. Some things are out of our control, but for some things, we have to just kind of, evaluate and see how we got there. And then also, like, how do we not ever end up back in this position again?
Right.
So I think that's like step one. And then, I think the next thing that you want to do is definitely begin like a self discovery journey, and really getting to know yourself and really, making those improvements because we all, we're all works in progress. So,
Absolutely.
it's always good to just kind of go back to the drawing board and, just improve on who you are as a person.
Yeah, yeah. And if you could, I was really curious about the self discovery journey that you mentioned. Can you kind of expand on that? What that looks like?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's definitely spending a lot of time with yourself. For me personally, it was spending a lot of time with God. Um, and just kind of getting to know yourself again. Like for me, my biggest like life change, most recent one, getting a divorce. So
Mm-hmm.
during that time, I really had to just like get by myself. You almost kind of feel isolated, but it's like
Yep.
it's actually an incubation thing, right? You think about like a baby being in an incubator. You have to kind of, they're in there by themselves. You're getting everything that you need, but it's like you're in there and you just got to work some things out and tough it out through some things. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And divorce is a huge challenge. I've navigated through that challenge as well.
mm-hmm.
And I'm sure a lot of listeners, rather divorce or lost relationships, and it doesn't have to be necessarily a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
Sometimes a person that's a huge part of your life is no longer there, and there's some navigation that goes into there. I know you mentioned you kind of isolated yourself. You spent some time with God as well. You mentioned, are there other things, other devices that you've used? Rather, I know for myself, I try to read a lot, or I'll watch some inspirational videos. Um, Try to find different points of motivation to overcome adversity. So rather specifically to navigating through your divorce, or just in general, is there more that you've done in the past to overcome?
Yeah, definitely reading was a big one for me too. You know, just reading some books about, you know, how other people may have navigated through your same situation. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know, also kind of having an outlet is a good thing to do. So like for me, I really started to work out and you know, stuff like that, not just improving the you know, mental part, but also the physical. So joining those two things together also helped a lot as well.
Absolutely. I'm a huge advocate of working out being an outlet for good and bad days.
Yeah.
Uh, Perfect, perfect. Well, we'll likely circle back as far as his self discovery journey and overcoming adversity, but I definitely want to talk a bit more about your various businesses. Of course, I see a lot of what you post online as far as your beauty business. I know you said you're a life coach as well. So first of all, give us a bit about your brand and your company. Feel free to share where people can find you, and then we'll grow from there.
Yeah. So my business is Minx Beauty Institute, and it is a beauty studio spa. I do various services there, mainly for like body wellness stuff. So I have like some holistic stuff that I do, all natural stuff, and then I have some other techniques that I do that are, you know, a little more invasive, still non-invasive stuff, but you know, I love to help women feel beautiful and confident about themselves. So, you know, I do all kinds of stuff to help them, you know, love how they look and just, you know, feel comfortable in their skin.
And how long have you been an entrepreneur?
I've had my business for 8 years. I just celebrated 8 years back in February.
Oh, that's
Yes, and
awesome.
I've had other businesses before, but this is like the longest that I've like, you know, gone at. I've always been entrepreneur at heart, but this is like the one that's like, okay, I don't have to work anywhere else. I'm just solely
Yeah,
so yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah, it's been
That's awesome.
yeah.
So over the course of those 8 years, and I've been a full time entrepreneur for since 20. I should know this off the top of my head, right?
Oh,
2017. So last time I had a job was 2017, and I know that I've gone through so many hurdles, so many times where it's kind of like, is this even worth it anymore? Certainly, I know for myself, the there's times where I miss the consistency of a paycheck, and the peace of mind versus now I invoice clients, and now I got to call the AP department and say, where the heck is my
right.
check? But there's so many challenges between even getting to that point where you're successfully building a book of business. So share with our listeners a bit about what types of challenges you've seen as you've built your business.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, I mean, the obvious stuff, of course, like when you're first starting out, I feel like you're really unsure when you're first starting out a business, but it's good because you kind of have that, you know, you don't really know what to expect, and it's kind of like that blind faith thing. You know, you're kind of going with the flow, and you kind
Yep.
of groove of things, and then we know once you get into that groove, that usually shifts. You know what I mean? like with entrepreneurship, it's just like a constant, never ending thing. Like it's up, it's down, and that's just the course of it. You know what I mean? I
Yep.
me having my business for so long and learning about like business credit and so many other things that I didn't know about at first, and really just like how to capitalize on my business now. That's definitely helped a lot, but in the beginning it was just like a lot of winging it and figuring it out as I go along. And even now things change. The industry changes, and you just always have to stay ahead of the curve. So it's
Yeah.
never ending.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm in full agreement with that. Um, some of those, whether it was learning about business credit or in how to capitalize in general,
Hmm.
did you learn all of this via just a learned experience, or were there resources you use, whether it's people or networking, or again going back to books and so forth to
I was
get better?
definitely was people, like learning from other entrepreneurs and kind of working with other people who it's always you don't want to be the smartest person in the room type of thing. So it's always
Yep.
be surrounded with people that may have strengths in certain areas that you don't. So I was always able to kind of learn from other people and figure out that stuff that I didn't know in the beginning. So definitely people. I didn't, and some things I've done like little courses and stuff on to kind of educate myself about, but mainly I would say like the bulk of all of the back end business stuff that I've learned have been from like other entrepreneurs who kind of put me on to certain things. Yeah.
Is is there advice that you can share with aspiring entrepreneurs to help them know where to go or how to go about building that type of network to build their business?
Yeah, I think it's always important to um you know be in circles with other entrepreneurs that are like in the same as you are. And I mean, that could look up a lot of different ways. That could be a Facebook group, that could be like a local group that's kind of meeting up. It's a it's so many different ways that you can kind of get into that type of room or setting, I should say. But I think that that's the most important thing, is to kind of be around some other people, because how we talked about like in the beginning, you kind of feel like you're the only one, and it's like really
Yep.
you're not the only one going through these things with your business, because
Absolutely.
you have people, and I say in your industry because somebody who has a restaurant, like it's certain things we can relate on, but it's not going to be the same as the person who has a beauty spa like me. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think that is so imperative. Get around some people who are already doing it, that have some knowledge that you can kind of soak up from them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I 100% agree. And I know for myself, building that network was pivotal
Hmm.
to be able to rely on others' experiences. Anecdotal experiences can teach you a lot because you can learn the path ahead. You can know how to avoid certain traps and
Hmm.
certain barriers and learn from other people's experience. And then I think you have a responsibility to share your learned experience now with someone else coming behind you
Absolutely.
to hopefully empower them.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I know again that you've built a successful business, and you've built a lot from what I've been able to observe and what you've been able to share today. And I also know that you're a mother. So I know as a father, there's a great deal of challenges in balancing fatherhood and your business ventures and your different commitments and so forth. So uh, if you could share your experience with being a mother and how you balance motherhood with your business.
Yeah. It's definitely a balancing act. And the thing about it is every day looks different. You know, every day is different. I would love to tell people, like, to have a schedule and it's like that's just not reality. Of course, we have certain commitments and things that we have to do daily, but honestly, every single day for me looks a little bit different. So it's like just having enough grace for yourself for whatever you need that day is the key. You know,
Yeah.
but yeah, with my kids, one of the great things about like where my kids are now is that I have two adult kids now, and then I have two younger kids. So my two adult kids help out a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah, help out a lot with the younger kids, but it's every day it's different.
Every day's a learning experience,
It
right?
is. It, it is for sure.
If you could, again, the goal here is to help others. If you could share some advice to, I would say mothers more so because your focus is on empowering
Yeah.
women, but also just in general who are trying to learn how to balance the responsibilities of a career in motherhood. What type of advice would you give to these mothers?
You know what? Um, First off, I'll say this because one of the things that most moms have when, especially when you're an entrepreneur, because that's like a never ending thing. Like we don't clock in and clock out. It's like there's
Right.
home and I'm still working and my baby wants to, go for a walk, or you know what I'm saying, and I'm trying to prioritize things and things. But I will say this to moms, um, get rid of the mom guilt, because that's a real thing. We feel guilty that we do have to work all the time, never ending thing. Like sometimes I maybe have dinner and I have a call. It's like I
Yep.
cannot that
Mm-hmm.
call. You know what I'm saying? Like bills are getting paid. You know what I'm
That's how we got dinner, right?
saying? Dinner right now, house. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but I mean, the real thing. But I think for me, just understanding that my life is different. I don't clock in and clock out. I can't just turn it off, and it's like being okay with that and
Mm-hmm.
recognizing that it's there. But it's like that's just what it is. This is just what my life is. So
Yep.
guilt about that.
I think that's a really important point too, because I know when I'm talking to friends sometimes, or even just a random associate, and they're talking about their entrepreneurial aspirations, and I think a lot of people from the outside looking in thinks it's you're on the beach every day, and it's just this ultimate freedom, and really, and I know there's lots of memes joking about it. Most entrepreneurs are, working 24/7, but what they've been able to negotiate and be an entrepreneur is you're in control of your time in a far broader sense. Though now you're devoted to this project, this business in a way where it is a 24-hour
Yeah.
cycle. So I think it's important for people to know where those pitfalls are, because they think that it's just going to be all roses and cupcakes, and that
And
is that is not reality.
it's not. And like you said, yes, we do have the luxury of, other freedoms where we can prioritize time and cut, have our own time to do certain things. And like I can be on vacation and I'm still kind of working. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep.
Vacation a little bit more than than most people, but I'm working.
Right. You're multitasking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I I remember one of the books that opened my eyes was Rich Dad Poor Dad. But and it wasn't about the money part. It was uh, when Robert Kiyosaki was talking about the time exchange of money. So your time is more valuable than money. So having control over your time, having control over those 24 hours goes much further than regardless of what you have in your bank
Yeah.
account. So obviously, but the 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 trick there is you need to have it in your bank
Right.
account to afford the time. So you need both, but the time is what's most
Yeah.
valuable in building building something as an entrepreneur.
Yeah. And that's true. And that's always been the thing for me. Um I say it all the time, like I don't want to be famous. I don't want the fame of things. I want the freedom. Like, I want the freedom to just get up and it's like, okay, this is what I'm doing today. You know what I'm saying? I feel
Yep.
now and where I'm taking my businesses, where I can, kind of step back and I'm having other people to run things.
It's dope.
That freedom. That's the ultimate goal.
Absolutely, absolutely. I can't recall who it was. One of these motivational entrepreneurs that I follow. Maybe it was on TikTok because TikTok is unfortunately one of my addictions. Uh, but uh, he was just saying how undervalued it is that he can take his kids to the bus and sit at his kitchen table and drink coffee in the
Oh
morning.
my God.
So he's not trapped by the hustle of they're there, now I got to get here, and now I got to get there. It's I can take 30 minutes for myself in the morning, and I'm in control of that.
Yes.
And I think that's a really powerful thing.
Literally me not every day, but most days. Like, it's a
Yeah.
luxury that I can get my baby on the bus and then I can also be there to get her off the bus and I'm home when my kids get home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Schedule
Yeah.
in my time frame. So yes, it's a luxury. It's the freedom for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly. And I have the same value. I get to take my son my daughter and my son to school in the morning, and I pick my daughter up in the evening. I get my son off the bus every night. I'm there every day, and a lot of parents don't have that luxury, and it's not a bad thing because certain jobs are just going to demand otherwise. But being an entrepreneur does afford you that freedom,
Yeah.
and I think that says a lot.
Yeah, and I think it's so important. Like, I think about that all the time. I practice gratitude every day. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
Usually one of the things I am like grateful for. Like, wow, I'm just like I got my kids off on the bus and now I'm just about to, sit and at my laptop and do what I need to do and it's not the hustle and bustle of things. So
Yep. And that's interesting that you mentioned that you practice gratitude every day because I try to do that as well. And something that I've mentioned in multiple episodes in the past is I keep a daily journal. So, and it's a 5-minute journal. So it's not designed to occupy a great deal of your time.
yeah.
But every morning I have to write down 3 things that I'm appreciative of, 3 things that I want to accomplish today, and 3 things that went well yesterday.
Mm.
And these can be minor things. Some days I write, I'm appreciative of this cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some days I'm appreciative of my kids. I'm always appreciative of my
Right.
kids. Some days that's what I write down. Uh, but I think gratitude goes a long way just to set your state of
Mm-hmm.
mind and take it on a day. Is there anything that you specifically do in order to practice gratitude?
You know what? It's become such a practice for me that it's not, I don't have I do journal, but I'll typically it's not really about that. I'll just kind of have a moment. So like I always get up early most mornings. I've been falling off a little bit lately, but I'll get up like way earlier than what I need to, and I'll pray. I'll, think
Mm-hmm.
about what I'm grateful for. I may get some Pilates in or something. Listen to some instrumental worship music and just like set
Mm-hmm.
intention and like get my mind right for. So
Right.
it's not really. I mean, that is kind of like the practice then, huh? I guess.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, I guess that is kind of like the practice of it all. But yes, and then some days, like the days that I miss that, like I don't get up super early. I'll still always just kind of have that moment where I'm like, okay, like I'm grateful for this, and I'll just kind
Right.
of myself. Yeah.
And I think it's okay that there's some flexibility there as far as how you approach it, but rather it's the full scale that you mentioned at the beginning, or
Mm-hmm.
just waking up an hour later than you normally want to, and just saying, I'm happy to be awake. I'm happy the sun woke me up this morning. I think is really important. I too like to wake up really early in the morning, but I have a horrible disease where even if I try to sleep in, I can't. It's very annoying. Like 7 a.m. is absolutely me sleeping in.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I wanted to touch a bit on mental health. I really try to address mental health in every episode.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's an unfortunate thing that I was in my 20s before I even felt like mental health was something that we could talk about. I know there's so many stigmas, especially in the Black community, where uh, to put it in pure black and white, going to a counselor or a psychiatrist or a psychologist, that's what white folks do, and stop
Yeah.
crying, basically, like toughen
That's
up.
how we,
Uh,
but it's so different now.
yep. I think it's great that so many people are verbal about mental health, and most people are admitting that it's a real thing that has to be addressed, and it's not something that is for wholly owned by poor people, certainly wholly owned by rich
Yeah.
people, or people who live in a good neighborhood or a bad neighborhood, or people who have a 2-parent home or 1-parent home, or wherever you fall on the spectrum, everyone deals with different levels of mental health challenges. Um, when you think about mental health and its importance,
Mm-hmm.
how do you see it addressing your overall well-being?
You're saying, how do I see?
How do you see your mental health uh, contributing to your overall well-being? I think is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I mean, it's all of it. It contributes to all of my well-being. Like, if I'm mentally not okay, that's gonna throw everything off. You know what I mean? I think it's always good for us to kind of, check in with ourselves. Like, right after my divorce, I did therapy. Um, a little over a year. Um, but like, I stuck to it, and that was really like the time that I've done long term. So, really
Mm-hmm.
good. You kind of learn, why you do the things you do, and you're connecting dots to, things that you learned as a kid, and you're unlearning some things, and it's a whole process. But I would
Yeah,
recommend it, for everybody, because it was really, really helpful in like getting me back into a full, um, a mentally good space.
absolutely. And it's a marathon because even though you can be in a good headspace today, it could drastically change
It can
tomorrow.
change. It
Uh,
does change.
yeah, it does. It does. It should be expected. And of course, everyone is dealing with various levels of stress.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm curious if you can share with the listeners, what do you typically do in order to manage stress? And I know we kind of touched it on a high level when you mentioned outlets
Mm-hmm.
and the gym,
Yes.
but overall, how do you normally address stressful
You
situations?
know what? If I can, I'm gonna go on a vacation. I'm not even. I'm gonna try, and that could even sometimes it's just like a staycation. Sometimes it's just be in my bathroom. I'm in a bubble bath, and I feel like I'm somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just like that alone time, that me time, or just like changing the scenery up a little bit. That's all
Hmm.
been good for me. I can kind of like mentally,
Fantastic.
yeah.
In the past, and just to kind of wrap up here, as far as mental health is concerned, uh, I think I lost my question. So you mentioned that you went to therapy post divorce. You like to travel. Um, when you think about the overall challenges of entrepreneurship, are there things that you do differently to address those stressors versus the stressors of just day to day life, or do you kind of encompass them in one?
I was gonna say my life is. I'm so engulfed in being an entrepreneur that it literally like the lines blur. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's who I am every single day. So there's no, it's not separate. It's like whether it's something for my business stress or my personal life, it's I handle it all the same. Yeah, because that's who I
Perfect.
am. Like I can't turn.
Just always and go entrepreneurship, all things embodied in one.
Yes, it's all kind of blurred in there together.
Gotcha. That works for me. So what I would like to do next is have a little bit of fun and do kind of a speed round to help the listeners get to know you a bit more,
Okay.
and just to get you to talk about something a little fun. Maybe we'll see. So don't be overwhelmed. It's not that heavy.
No.
I promise you. So I'm just gonna
Question.
I'm just gonna ask you some questions, and you just say the first answer that comes to
Oh my
mind.
God.
It just has to be the right answer.
Okay.
That's the only. It has to be the right answer. Okay, you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Greatest movie of all time.
Why Coming to America was the first thing that came to my mind.
Okay. I can accept that as an okay answer.
I don't
The right answer was Five Heartbeats, but it's okay. Okay. Favorite go-to food item if you're having a bad day?
Pasta.
Pasta.
Yes. Pasta. Any kind of pasta.
Any kind of pasta. Favorite go-to food when you're traveling?
mm,
I guess that's respective of where you are,
it
though.
is. But you know what? I usually do like a lot of I probably do a lot of seafood when I'm traveling more than anything. Yeah.
Okay. Greatest album of all time?
Oh my God. Why did that just pop in my head? Do I have to say the first thing that popped in my
No, you can. It can be curated. It's
head?
fine.
I don't know why I want to dance with somebody about Whitney Houston. I don't know why I just
That's an acceptable answer.
heard that song since I don't even know how old. It's crazy.
All right, we gonna stick to that one though.
Yes.
Okay. Favorite television show?
Martin.
Good answer. Good answer. That is your first right answer, by the way. Um,
Well,
favorite place to vacate? I'm sorry. Say it again.
I said I'm making progress.
Yeah, you're getting better. Favorite place to travel?
Like location wise, like
It can be country. It can be a very specific resort that you go to all the time. However you want to go with it.
okay, like my most favorite, I would say Bali.
Bali, nice. I like it.
Yeah.
And now, even though you said I want to dance with somebody for album,
Mhm.
my next question is actually greatest song of all time.
You know what? Okay, I thought you meant song. Okay, I did that wrong.
So now you can do album then if
I
you
was
like.
gonna say when you said album, when you explained that, I thought of Blueprint, Jay-Z, the Blueprint. So let's flop that. Let's switch
Oh,
the album.
I fully accept that album.
Okay.
I mean, Reasonable Doubt's better, but Jay Z is my favorite rapper, so
Oh my God.
that is an okay
Yeah,
answer.
I did that backwards. I don't know why it just popped in my head.
No problem. I only have two more left.
Okay.
Your dream car?
I'm so not into cars. If I had to pick, but this is not even a dream car, but I do want this car, a G-Wagon.
G-Wagon.
Yeah.
Big body.
But I would have to have a car with that. I wouldn't drive that every day.
You got to have a rotation. Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah. But I'm not into cars. But if I had to pick, that would be it.
That's a good choice, though. That's a good choice.
Yeah.
All right. Last question is, if you could be doing anything with your life, what would you be doing? And so that means whether I would be an astronaut or I would be a world traveler, or I will be a food critic, or if there's anything that you could see yourself doing in a perfect scenario, what would it be?
I really like my life. If anything, I would
That's a good
be
answer.
able to travel more. But I love what I do. I really can't see me doing anything else. But maybe just like where I'm traveling a lot more around the
That's dope.
world.
That's dope. That actually makes me want to hinge and see if there's any advice you can give if for someone trying to get in a mode of life where and I actually mentioned something like this. I need to look at my notes on last episode where you know you've made it when you look forward to Monday and you look forward to Tuesday and you look forward to Wednesday. You're not living for the weekend. You know, you're not living for vacation or PTO, but you're able to thrive each and every
Yeah.
day. Uh, did you stumble upon where you wanted to take yourself as an entrepreneur, or was it something that you kind of aspired to for some time?
You know what? To be very honest, I did not see, like when I first started my business, because I was just doing lashes when I started.
Mm-hmm.
Knew that I wanted to like eventually have like my own lash bar and type of thing. I knew I wanted to kind of take it to that level, but I did not foresee like what I'm doing now, like with me training people, having product lines, and I didn't see any of that. So stumbled upon it. I wouldn't say that because I had to work for it, but it
Yeah,
definitely was not in the plan when I first started my business. No, I had no clue.
very cool.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people, it happens that way because you, even if you have a big picture of what you see as the outcome,
Yeah.
as things evolve organically and you learn more and you get exposure to more people and more resources, I think things naturally evolve into what they eventually become.
Yeah. And this
That's been my experience.
the you know what I'm saying? There's more that I can't even imagine right now. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
yes, definitely did not plan coming. No.
Well, that's very awesome. That's dope. I appreciate you participating willingly in the speed round. Some of your answers are okay. You hit it with Martin. You hit it with Blueprint. So we'll we'll accept that for the time being. Uh, what I would like to do before we wrap up here, Janora, is give you an opportunity to again plug your business, tell folks how to find you, and anything else you think would be helpful to share to inspire women specifically in as they journey through life. The floor is yours.
Yes. So, well, you guys can find me on Instagram. My business page is Minx underscore beauty underscore institute. And then I also have my personal page where I do more of my wellness stuff, and that's at Janor Lene. If you're looking to do any of the classes that I have, I do offer, different certification classes for women, which helps them to, become business owners and gain that financial freedom, which I think is so important for moms. It's important, we have that flexibility with our.
Mm-hmm.
So I do offer those classes, and you can find those on my website at minxbeauty.com. Trying to think where else. I'm on Facebook too, Minx Beauty Institute. I don't really do. I have TikTok, but I don't really do
Okay.
TikToking. Yeah. It's been,
Stay away if you can.
yeah,
It's a
I
drug.
know. I don't fun in that at all. Yeah.
Good. Good. Uh, and I'll include all that contact information when we post the episode as well.
Okay.
So if you have nothing else left to share, I of course want to thank you, Janora, for joining us for episode 12 of the Know It All podcast. I certainly want to thank the listeners for joining us. As always, I want to ask you to make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, make it a great day on purpose.